On our second day in Edinburgh, we decided to take a 13-hour day trip to the Scottish Highlands, a journey through some of Scotland's most spectacular landscapes. If you're new to this channel, my name is Elena, and my goal is to help you eat well, travel better, and learn some history along the way. Our tour was meant to start at 8 a.m., but since everyone was early and on time, we were already on the road by 7:30 a.m. As we left Edinburgh behind, we passed the famous Kelpies, two magnificent horse head sculptures rising 30 meters high. Our first stop was at the Smiddy farm shop, about an hour's drive from Edinburgh, in Stirling. This cozy farm shop celebrates local seasonal produce, set against the beautiful backdrop of the Glencoe Hills. We grabbed a quick coffee and got ready for the long road ahead. Back on the bus, we drove past the River Taith, caught a glimpse of Stirling Castle, and rolled through the charming town of Callander. At Kilmahog, we made a quick stop to meet a local celebrity, the famous Glencoe, Scotland's beloved Highland cow. There was quite a crowd waiting for their turn to take a photo with this shaggy, gentle creature. As we left Kilmahog, our driver Nick announced, "There's a bump on the road ahead. That's the line where we roll from the lowlands into the highlands." We passed a small village with 3 bars and just one shop, classic Scotland, before driving toward Loch Ness and the Glencoe Viaduct, a graceful stone structure curving through the green hills like something out of storybook.
It's crazy. And one shop. Rumor has it the only reason the shop exists is to restock the bar.
Passing through the Highlands, we learned that many of these dramatic valleys and lochs have served as filming locations for some of the world's most famous movies. Further north, we entered the Great Moor of Rannoch, one of the last true wildernesses in Europe. This vast stretch of land, dotted with lowlands, rivers, and rocky outcrops, feels untouched by time. Fans of Outlander might recognize this landscape. Kilnoch Rannoch served as the filming site for Craignadoon, where Claire steps through the stone circle and into another time. As we continued north, our guide Nick shared one of Scotland's most haunting stories, the Massacre of Glencoe. In February 1692, government soldiers turned on their host, the MacDonalds of Glencoe, killing 38 men, women, and children in their sleep. Others fled into snow-covered mountains, never to return. Even today, Glencoe carries a quiet sorrow, her name forever linked with betrayal and loss. Leaving Glencoe behind, we passed through Fort William, often called the gateway to Ben Nevis, the highest mountain in the UK. A short drive later, we stopped at Spean Bridge, on the banks of the River Spean. We had about an hour to rest, warm up, and grab something to eat. There's a cozy cafe here serving hot homemade food. We ordered soup and baked potato topped with ground beef sauce, simple, hearty, and perfect for a chilly Highland afternoon. After lunch, we made a quick stop at Loch Lochy, one of Scotland's most beautiful freshwater lochs. In early Gaelic, the name Loch Lochy translates to the Loch of the Dark Goddess, a fitting title for a place that feels both powerful and mysterious. Our next stop was the legendary Loch Ness, a name that stirs imagination around the world. As we reached the Urquhart Castle, we first passed through the visitor and souvenir shop, where you can get tartan scarves, postcards, and other Scottish souvenirs. Once a mighty fortress, it played a key role in the struggles between the Scottish clans and the English crown. Good day guys, today we're exploring the Scottish Highlands and now we're in the castle of Urquhart in the Loch Ness and we're going to see ancient history. Are you ready to explore with me? Let's go! Standing on a rocky promontory above Loch Ness, Urquhart Castle has witnessed over 1,000 years of Scottish history. It's believed that Saint Columba visited this site around 580 AD when he traveled to baptize a dying Pictish nobleman who may have lived where the castle now stands. Even then, this spot was considered sacred, a place of power. Centuries later, Urquhart became a mighty medieval stronghold. It was seized by the English King Edward I in 1296, reclaimed by the Scots and later held by Robert the Bruce during Scotland's fight for independence. For years, it withstood invasions and clan rivalries, most famously the raids of the MacDonald's Lords of the Isles, who plundered the glen time and again. In the 1500s, Clan Grant took over and rebuilt much of the castle, adding the 5-story grand tower that still dominates the ruins today. Urquhart was last garrisoned in 1689, and just 3 years later, its defenders deliberately blew it up to prevent it from being used again as a military fortress. Left in ruin, the castle slowly surrendered to time. By the 1800s, it had transformed from a place of war into a symbol of Scottish resilience, a noble ruin overlooking the dark waters of Loch Ness. And now let me tell you the story that made Loch Ness famous around the world. For centuries, people have whispered about a mysterious creature said to live beneath these dark, deep waters. The first tale dates back to the 6th century, when Saint Columba himself was said to have encountered a water beast right here on the loch. But it wasn't until the 1930s, after a shadowy photograph appeared in the newspapers, that the legend of the Loch Ness Monster, or Nessie, captured global imagination. Since then, countless expeditions and sonar scans have searched for proof, but Nessie has remained beautifully elusive, adding a touch of magic to Scotland's most mysterious loch. At Loch Ness, we had two options: to visit the Urquhart Castle followed by a 30-minute cruise, or take a full hour-long boat tour of the loch. You can find more details about this tour in the link below. We chose the first option, exploring the castle grounds before boarding our boat from the nearby pier. As we sailed across the dark waters of Loch Ness, surrounded by mist and mountains, there was something almost otherworldly about the stillness. On board, I highly recommend trying their hot chocolate with a splash of Scottish whiskey, the perfect way to warm up as you glide across one of the most mysterious lochs in the world. After our cruise, we continued north, driving past Inverness, often called the capital of the Highlands. It's a charming town that sits where the River Ness meets the Moray Firth, and it serves as the cultural and commercial heart of this vast northern region. We made our final stop at Pitlochry. By the time we arrived, night had already fallen and the town was glowing with Christmas decorations, twinkling lights draped across stone buildings, and festive displays. We had about 30 minutes to stretch our legs and take in the cozy holiday atmosphere before heading back to Edinburgh. After leaving Pitlochry, we headed back to Edinburgh, ending our day with a cozy Chinese dinner near the hotel. It was a long but beautiful journey, the perfect way to experience Scotland beyond the city. I truly recommend this tour if you want to see the Highlands in a day. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join me for more adventures.